Hey everyone, Rick here from Hamilton Sports Central, and we are here for our second annual Stampede Bowl. The Calgary Stampeders, are playing host to the Toronto Argonauts out in Calgary. I'm just trying to fix something. Give me a moment. See who Enoch's looking out for tonight. You saying Toronto's run defense? David Sanchez is saying Coxie is going to be their bread and butter. A-Dog says, Rick! Yes. Welcome, my friends. How's the ship? How's the ship tonight? I hope it's going well. We got some Winton McManus coming back on Sunday, so that's going to be good. Jamal Peters is going to be back on Sunday, so we're going to be looking forward to that as well. Forgot to do the thumbnail, so while these guys are talking in the background on TSN, I can do so they're saying to force Vernon Adams to throw all night long. So this is going to be a good test. See if Toronto can. Good crowd tonight, except for the one side has not many fans, but Brad Kessel singing the national anthem. That's pretty cool. Listen, I'm not gonna say no to some Brett Kessel doing the national anthem. See, that's what I don't like about TSN is they always show the one side with no fans. Even in Hamilton, they always show on TV. They always show the one side with no fans, and then everyone's like, "Oh, look, they have no fans." They have fans. They're just showing the wrong side because everyone's always on the home side. Do, 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 do. Yeah, and that's the thing with us. Like, I don't know about you, A-Dog, but in Hamilton, now that the away team's on the other side, they always show the away bench. Well, if you show the home bench, you'll see more fans on the home side than you will on the away side. Like, it's not rocket science. Okay, so let's go back here and add the thumbnail so that people know that it's the Stampede Bowl tonight. Maurice Scott of Edmonton. 2 returns come back. If you get 1, you win groceries for a year, but if 2 comes back, you win $1 million. It's not the double blue, it's white and blue tonight, sir. So Marshall Ferguson and Paula, please. Did he just say an outbreak of Hicks? Oh my lord. Oh, okay. He's talking about Hicks as in the player, not people as in Hicks. So because there's 2 different Hicks, there's one on Toronto and one on Calgary. I mean, I don't have it. That's the only gripe that I have with TSN. Other than that, I don't mind TSN. So McAtney kicks it off for 61 yards to the Toronto 19. Janarian Grant returns it for 9 yards to the Toronto 28. Thomas with the tackle. So here comes some Chad Kelly to see what he can do. I honestly cannot wait to the 18th when Toronto plays Hamilton in Hamilton and Wynton McManus sends him on his ass. Kelly passes to Coxie for 2 yards to the Toronto 30. 2nd and 8. So my problem with Toronto tonight is you have a rookie playing center because Shipley's now on the 6th game. So you move Nakasha over to guard. So now you have Hutchins, Florida Malade, Hicks, and Brown to deal with that center playing his first CFL game. Oh, you got a flag already? And they knock Kelly on his butt. And there's an interception. So there's going to be, see what this penalty is. Holding on Toronto. Yeah, Paul Police is saying that it's some type of holding call. Holding Toronto. So you have illegal contact on the receiver on Calgary and holding, so they're going to replay 2nd down. So that interception does not count. God dang it. Chad Kelly throws incomplete to Common to the Calgary 45. So it's 3rd and 8 from the Toronto 30. Oh. Haggerty punts for 62 yards. McAllister returns it for 44 yards to the Toronto 48. McAllister's injured on the play. That's not good. Where did he get injured is the question. So it looks like he injured his knee when he got tackled. So they're going to step aside. Oh, we can notice that. While they step aside, we are going to find where I have that announcement sheet. Right here. So, for those that don't know, this live stream is proudly sponsored by KPHR Radio, Hamilton's home for classic rock. And if you love legendary rock anthems, great on-air personalities, and community-focused programming, be sure to tune in to KPHR Radio. Live and discover all their shows, music, and more by visiting katradiogroup.ca. And thank you to KPHR Radio for supporting and sponsoring Hamilton Sports Central and helping bring to you today's live coverage. And also, because of them, we are going to be going to the Hamilton Hammers event next week, and we will be able to see the new jerseys be unveiled at the get-together next week. So we're looking forward to that. So that's going to be interesting. Oh yeah, now you say this, Kate. You should have done it at the beginning. Matt Luff got signed yesterday, so I was pretty happy for that. There's supposed to be some big signings. Adams to Philpott for 10 yards to the Toronto 38, so it's going to be second in inches. Yeah, A-Dog, that injury did look bad. Hopefully he's still able to come back because he's key to their special teams. Quentin Vaughn rushes for 3 yards to Toronto 35. Dark Angel at the tackle, first down Stampeders. How do you get 9.5? It's 10. It's either 9 or it's 10. You can't get 9.5 yards. Oh my lord, Tia. CFL, get your shit together. Brandon Adams throws to Brooks for 24 yards to the Toronto 11. Pickett with the tackle. First down, Stampeders. That's funny because in me, Jacob, and Dan's preview over on the analyst desk, Jacob was saying that the Eric Brooks and the receiving group needs to get going in this game, and you already see some big passes. Well, one already to Eric Brooks, anyways. Mills rushes for 5 yards to the Toronto 6. Hawley with the tackle, so it's going to be 2nd and 5. Calgary, yes, Calgary is on a doorstep. And just like that, Brendan Adams passes for a right for 6 yards, but who does he pass to is the question for the touchdown. Passes to Jalen Philpott. Let's go. Let's get some Stampeders going. Oh, I should have clicked that and then did that. So, A-Dog, I got a question for you. I can't remember if I'm sure you probably have told me, but I have the worst enemy. What CFL team do you support? Oh, you're a Sask fan. Yeah. I picked Sask last week, and, I was hoping for Sask to beat Toronto last week, but unfortunately, Shreveport, Pirates fan. Yeah. Who do they got? Oh, I'll have to open up another thing. Who do they got this week? They got Ottawa. That should be an easy win tomorrow. You guys beating Ottawa. I don't know how you guys can't beat Ottawa. But Montreal almost lost them last week, so it is possible. And we will be live tomorrow night for the live stream as well. We'll be here Saturday. Sunday's game, I will be at the game. Listen, there's nothing wrong with 90s expansion teams. You know what? So, when I was a kid, I was in grade 8, the year that Minnesota Wild came into the NHL. And back then, I was a big Stacey Roos fan. He's now the GM of the Rochester Americans in the AHL. And then 2 years later, then that year we drafted Marian Gaborik as a good fan of his. And then my favorite player, Mikko Koivu, got drafted in 2001. So I'm a big Mikko Koivu fan. And now I got to support Matthew Schaefer and the New York Islanders because Islanders is now Hamilton's parent club. So, and look at that. Calgary gets a single. So it's going to be 8-0. We'll take the point. Rouge single. So what Kelly can do on his second round of plays. Kelly passes to Unger the third for 9 yards to the Toronto 49. So you have Common in my fantasy. But then I also took Saska's defense, Harris, and Keyshawn Johnson. I was trying to take Schaefer Baker or MLS, but they weren't on for some reason CFL's fantasy this week. Saab in the secondary. That's where, if I was Toronto, that's where I'd be attacking because this is his first CFL game ever. So that's where I would be attacking, is the right side of that secondary. 2nd and 1. And there's a flag. Time count violation. Oh, Arbuckle was in on that package. So you go back 5 yards. Or is that Chad Kelly? Because I can't see them bringing in Arbuckle for short yardage. Unless I'm wrong. It's quite possible, but... Okay, so Arbuckle was in there for that package. 2nd and 6. Okay, Kelly passed to Coxie, not Arbuckle, for 24 yards. CFL, get your shit together. Kelly passes to Polk for 9 yards to the Calgary 33. Alexander with the tackle. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to get a screenshot. Oh, they changed it. Okay, never mind. Oh. Polk's injured. Oh, can he get up? He's limping. He's holding his hip. Second and 1. I think it was where he got tackled. Almost had another time count violation, so Toronto had to take a timeout. So already 8 minutes left in the first, and you already wasted timeout already. So Kelly comes out, and probably Arbuckle goes in. So Arbuckle rushes for 3 yards to the Calgary 30, and Moncrief with the tackle. So Nick Arbuckle's Toronto's short yards QB. Interesting. Kelly passes to Unger for 7 yards to the Calgary 23. Robinson with the tackle. Kelly passes to Hicks for 10 yards to Calgary 13. I think I got Hicks on my fantasy weekly too. Red zone touchdowns 2026. Toronto 7 for 14. Kelly throws to Unger the third, 10 yards to Calgary 3. Johnson with the tackle. So it's going to be first and goal from the 3. Second in inches, so it's not a first down. Chad Kelly passes to Polk for 3 yards to the end zone. A-Dog says, touch Toronto, touch Toronto. Now it's going to be interesting what Toronto does. Did they go for the single point, or so they're going to be down by 1. They're going to not go for 2. They'll go for the single point. Four and a half minutes. They took off the clock. Do. Bum, 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 bum. See if I can fix this. Grab this. Paste. Review. Harlalahu. I hate pronouncing that last name because it gets so difficult. Kicks off for 75 yards to Calgary 5. At least McAllister is still good to play. Returns it for 22 yards to Calgary 27. Mills rushes for 3 yards to Calgary 30. Darkangelo with the tackle. At least McAllister is back in the game. That's all that matters for Toronto or for Calgary. Fewest turnovers after week 4. Calgary has 1, Hamilton has 2, Toronto has 9, and Ottawa has 11. The 2 turnovers were from week 1. Vernon Adams was sacked for 10 yards to Calgary 20. Chatfield Jr. with the sack. Yes, that is a big sack because it would make it 3rd and 17. Bassett punts it for 47 yards to Toronto 43. Grant returns it for 1 yard to Toronto 44. Transal reposted. Oh, thanks. Very much appreciated for reposting the live stream. Thanks to the 45 people so far that have viewed today's live stream. Very much appreciated. Go back over to this for a second. See if. Britt Dort with the cowboy hat on. So for those that don't know, the Stampede Bowl is the weekend of the Calgary Stampede, which is why they call it the Stampede Bowl. Hey, dog, I do the same thing. That's how I watch my game on my iPad. I do the same thing. Kelly passes to Polk for 13 yards to Calgary 50. Moncrief with the tackle. Robinson, the injured Stampeder, on the play. I mean, so, A-Dog, I haven't had cable for, 3-4 years because I have an Android box and Google TV and whatnot. So, I've had to... What the heck is with this? Oh. I've cut back on expenses and everything, so I normally pay. I pay for my IPTV. I pay what? $100 for the year. But when it comes to the CFL, that's what I do. Oh, Kelly throws an interception. So the interception that he thrown earlier was negated by a penalty, but now he threw another interception. Intercepted by Z. Alexander, returned it for 13 yards to Calgary 34. Kazar with the tackle. So that's what, number 7 for Chad Kelly on the season? Listen, he may have the most touchdowns, beaten man with one arm. That's ridiculous. Adams Jr. throws to Philpott for 20 yards to Calgary 54. So 1st and 10 from the Calgary 54. Wide open. Dedrick Mills rushes for 5 yards to the Toronto 51. Cameron Judge with the tackle, so it's going to be 2nd and 5. Adams Jr. throws incomplete, but there's a flag. Toronto offside. It should be a 1st down. You're only giving them 4 yards? You're not going to give them a full 5. Oh, my Lord. Should be a 1st down if it's 5 yards. So you're going to give them 2nd and inches? Explain that. Quincy Vaughn rushes for 4 yards to Toronto 43. Where's mine? So Quincy Vaughn got the rush of 4 yards, so it's going to be a 1st down at Toronto 43. Adams throws to Clark Barnes for 18 yards to the Toronto 25. Benji Franklin with the tackle. This is the thing with Toronto. You throw interceptions, teams other than Ottawa are going to make you pay for it. I don't know who's. Oh, I don't have it in front of me of who 23 is. Adams passes to Brooks is incomplete, broken up by Caesar. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 at the Toronto 25. Listen, even if Calgary has to go to 3rd down, you're still getting points off of the interception. You're getting 3 points. You're still up by 4. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Which one would it be on? This one? Yep. I want to find out. Oh, that's not what I want. I want to find it. I don't know Toronto like number wise. I want to find out who. 23 is Benji Franklin. So Toronto has 87 passing yards, 3 rushing yards for 90 net yards, 1 turnover, 7 minutes and 19 seconds. Calgary has 78 passing yards, 20 rushing for 88 yards after the first quarter. So Calgary only had 1 day to prepare for tonight's game. That's crazy. Toronto only had 1 extra day of practice than Calgary did. Oh. So offside Calgary, player misconduct on Toronto. Benji Franklin. There you go. Deshaun Brissett telling Toronto, like, in your face. "15 yards for the touchdown for the Stampeders." Yeah, that was nice. Oops. Junior 2. Where are we at? 15? McAtney kicks it off for 64 yards. Isaiah Smith returns it for 17 to Toronto 33. See what Kelly can do his third time out. Actually, no, this would be the fourth time because the first one was 2 and out. Second one was a touchdown. Third one was an interception. See what the fourth time would be. Hicks rushes left for a loss of 4 yards to the Toronto 19 or 29, so it's 2nd and 14. And Kelly's sacked for 4 yards, so it's 3rd and 18. I warned people on the pregame last night. You know, you got to protect Chad Kelly with that offensive line. And here's Chad Kelly getting sacked. It's one of probably many tonight. Haggerty punts for 56 yards to the Calgary 29. McAllister returns for 16 yards to the Calgary 45. So you're already almost at midfield already. Peterson Jr. with the tackle. So Peters Jr. is their backup defensive end on the right side. So he'd be the one against the right tackle. One that got that sack. So I'm pretty sure that would have been Brendan Camp's guy. Mills rushes for 0 yards, so it's 2nd and 10 from the Calgary 45. Adams throws to Tevin Jones for 30 yards to the Toronto 35. Pickett with the tackle. Vernon Adams throws incomplete to Barnes. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 at the Toronto 35. Adams Jr. throws to Brooks for 8 yards to the Toronto 27. Goss with the tackle. Ooh, they're going to go for this 3rd and short for the 1.5 yards. Rushes for 1 yard and it's turnover on downs. Okay, that doesn't make sense. They say Quincy Vaughn rushed for 2 yards to Toronto 25. He only needed 2 yards. Oh, my Lord. So did he get 2 yards? Or you can't just have 1.5. You either have 1 or you have 2. No, TSN said they needed 2 yards. CFL saying he needed 2 yards. He got 2 yards, and it was turnover on downs. It's like, what is it? Can't have both. So if it was 3 yards, say fucking 3 yards. No, I get that. I get that, A-Dog. But what I'm saying is, if it's 3rd and 2 and you get it short, okay, you only got 1 yard. It's a turnover. If it's 3rd and 2 and you get 2 yards, it's a first down. Stop just making up just random numbers. It's either 3rd and 2 and you get 2 yards and it's a first down, or it's 3rd and 2 and you got 1 yard and it's a turnover on downs. That's my point. That's twice now that they've done that. Now they're saying it was 3rd and 1. People can't get their freaking minds right. Chad Kelly passes to Mittal for 25 yards to the Toronto 50. It's going to be a first down, Toronto. Penalty on Toronto for offside, 5 yards. So it's 2nd and 50 or 1st and 15. Chad Kelly passes incomplete to Polk, so it's going to be 2nd and 15 from the Toronto 45. Put my Argo hat on for good luck. No, I am not put on the Argo hat for good luck. I'm wearing my Amos jersey. That's as much as Toronto you're going to get from me. Kelly throws incomplete to Hicks. See, this is what I was talking about earlier, is you have your center playing his first CFL game due to injuries to Shipley. So now your natural center, Nicastro, is now playing right guard. So there's a few times that the center has gotten beat, but I mean, it's a learning process for everyone. Everyone has to learn from their mistakes. It's their first CFL game. You ordered an Amos, nice. And those gifts that they're giving you guys, that's pretty cool. The fanny pack and the keychain. Haggerty punts for 60 yards. Dang. Calgary's leading 15-7. No, you can do what you want with them. I have no use for them. I'm not worried about it. I always give you the extra Argos merch, just like you give me the extra Tie-Cat stuff. Mind you, I do have like 15 of these Ottawa towels, by the way, just roaming around my basement from that Ottawa game. I don't know what I'm going to do with all extra 15 of them, but apparently I grabbed 15 of them. Well, I got to give Phil wanted one, so I got to give Phil one on Sunday. And then I told my mom I would give my nephews each one. So, yeah. You know what you do, A-Dog, is if you're gonna support the league, you just gotta know someone who has season tickets that can get you a discount on a jersey. For example, this week, Hamilton Ticats. We have, because Sundays are gray jerseys made in the Hammer. They have free cresting. So instead of paying like $230 for the jersey, you're only paying $139 for the jersey this week. So I was contemplating on getting another one to replace my other one that I have, but I don't know yet. So there was a penalty on a hold for Calgary, so they start back at the 3-yard line. Mills rushes for 2 yards to the Calgary 5. Darius Pickett with the tackle. I mean, I have enough jerseys this year. I don't need any more. Yeah, like you just got to know someone who has discounts at the concession stands and stores and stuff like that, and I'm sure they can get you a jersey. Mills rushes for 2 yards to the Calgary 5, so it's going to be 2nd and 8. Oh, and there's another flag over the top, and it's going to be offside for Toronto. Take a chance. So it's going to be 2nd and 3. Or are they just going to make up some yards like they did earlier? So offside on Kongbo, holding on Williams, 13. So you go back 3 yards. Adams throws incomplete to Jones, so it's going to be 3rd and 11 from the 2. Ooh, almost picked off by Benji Franklin. Hey Jovi. So it's, I don't know. Chad Kelly went 0-2 on his first possession, threw a touchdown in his second possession. On his third possession, it was a interception. Fourth one, they ended up punting it. Both teams are, Calgary has 2 touchdowns and a rouge. Bassett punts for 59 yards to the Toronto 49 and bounces out of bounds. Now are you talking about like when they punted that, A-Dog? Chad Kelly passes to Polk for 15 yards to the Calgary 46. Lee with the tackle. 5:36 and counting, still in the second quarter. So for those that are just joining, Toronto started with the ball in the first half to start the game. Hicks rushes for 2 yards to the Calgary 44, 2nd and 8. So Calgary's going to start with the ball the second half, or the direction of the fourth quarter. Chad Kelly throws incomplete. So it's going to be 3rd and 8 from the Calgary 44. So Toronto's challenging the rule on the play. So here's the funny thing is, if Toronto loses this challenge, they have no more timeouts for the whole game. Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha. So again, if Toronto loses this challenge, they have no more timeouts for the rest of this half and the second half. So there's a tug on both. So I honestly don't think that it would be pass interference because no defensive pass interference, so Toronto has no timeouts for the rest of the game. I mean, you can't call defensive pass interference if both people are grabbing each other's jerseys. So Larum comes on for the field goal. 52-yard attempt, and it's good. So it's 15-10. This to who? And it's only fair that we do the Toronto graphic for the field goal. Joe V says they should have kept that one in the pocket. Yeah, that's the thing, because now Dedrick Mills rushes for 5 yards to the Calgary 45. because Caesar with the tackle. So now, if you don't get your right packages, players, whatnot, you can't call a timeout for the rest of the game. I wonder if they'll change it where you can have timeouts per half. Oh, referees are blowing the whistle. Three-minute warning. Let's take a look at the numbers. So Chad Kelly's 11 for 16, 127 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. No rushing yards for Toronto, so no run game tonight, which is why there's a lot of passing yards. Vernon Adams is 8 for 11, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. And again, no rushing game, but a lot of passing yards. So it seems like neither team can get the run game started. Pickett leads with 4 defensive tackles for Toronto, and Chatfield has the lone sack. Moncrief and Lee tied for the defensive tackle lead for Calgary's defense. Sean Peterson with the lone sack, and Zai Alexander with the lone interception for Calgary. So, who has the ball right now? Calgary has the ball 2nd and 5 on the Calgary 45, and there's 3 minutes left in the second quarter. And then Calgary gets to decide second half if they want the ball of the second half to start, or if they want to take the wind in the fourth quarter, and Calgary's up by 5. I mean, A-Dog, they're moving the goalposts next year anyways to the back of the end zone, so it won't be on the goal line anymore. So you won't have to worry about it after this year. Oh. So Vernon Adams sacked for 2 yards to the Calgary 43, but there's illegal contact on Toronto for 10 yards, so they get a first down to the Calgary 55. Philpott with the jet sweep. 2:49 left in the second quarter for 7 yards to the Toronto 48. Chatfield with the tackle. Andrew Chatfield is the injured Argo on the field. Looks like it could be. Does he get out? So if he gets up, then that means it was a minor knee injury. Oh no, he's still down. So with the trainers out on the field, he has to at least come out for he has to come out for 3 games. Or 3 games. 3 plays is what I meant to say. And A-Dog says that that's a smart decision to move the goalpost to the back. So he rolled his knee. He's able to walk off, but he still walks off with the trainer, so he has to come out for 3 plays. Second down and 3 for the Stamps at the Toronto 48. Adams throws to Brissett for 39 yards to the Toronto 9-yard line. Wilson with the tackle. Oh. Don says, damn, Argos are going to lose this game. Don, it's still only the first half. Lots could happen. Listen, being a Ticat fan, Adams passes to Philpott for 8 yards to the Toronto 1-yard line. Caesar with the tackle. Listen, if I've learned anything as a Ticat fan over the last few years, you do not count your chickens until that clock reaches 0 and the game is officially over. Anything can happen in a game. Vernon Adams could get injured. You never know. Soon as Janarian Grant could get a kick return for a touchdown and turn the momentum over. You never know what's going to happen into a game until that clock reaches 0. There we go. Move it over a bit. Adams passes to Philpott for 1 yard for a touchdown. Jalen Philpott. That 22-10 for Calgary. Is that 2 for him tonight? 2 for Philpott. He's trying to catch up to his brother in Montreal. I mean, I wouldn't say that they're playing like shit. They've punted. Let me go back up here first. Let me go to the first quarter. So they've punted once, got a touchdown, interception. So that's the first quarter. Punted a second time. Punted a third time. And got a field goal. McApney kicks off for 83 yards to the Toronto end zone. Isaiah Smith returns it for 13 yards to the Toronto 10. A-Dog says, anyone else see how bad the coordinator rooms are at McMahon? I haven't been paying attention, but I will keep an eye out for them. I mean, eventually the Stamps are going to get a new field anyways. Kelly passes to Polk for 28 yards to the 38. Alexander with the tackle. Don says they might get blown out. Joe V says, I don't know about the rooms, but the special teams for Toronto are awful, just horrible. Chad Kelly throws to Unger the third for 9 yards to the Toronto 47. Johnson with the tackle. Then Chad Kelly throws incomplete to Unger the third to make it 3rd and 1. Why would you? Oh my God! Why would you not go for the short yardage? That makes no. Oh my God! Whatever. Just run the short yardage. Like, it's not rocket science, people. They're not running it again. Okay, I get that Chad Kelly's going to run it. But that's what you have running backs for. Chad Kelly rushes for 17 yards to the Calgary 46. Damian Webb with the tackle. Because here's my thing. Yeah, Chad Kelly got 17 yards. What would happen if he twists his ankle on that rush or something? That's why you have people doing short yardage, people. Kelly passes to Coxie for 39 yards to the Calgary 7. Robinson with the tackle. See, Don, this is why you never count teams out. Toronto's almost on the verge of getting a touchdown here. Kelly throws incomplete to Polk on 1st and 7 on the Calgary 7. Oh, Polk, what? You dropped that one. That was an easy catch. So 2nd and 7 from the Calgary 7. Toronto has 1 red zone to 1 touchdown, so they're 1 for 1 in the red zone. Kelly rushes for 7 yards for a touchdown. I unclicked it. Oh, I guess not. Oh, they're going for a 2-point convert. Oh, defensive pass interference. So they're going to go from the 1. And try it again. Another flag on the play. First you say it's a time count, then you say it's offside in Calgary. So it's Calgary offside, so they're going to replay the 2-point convert. Chad Kelly's an athlete. So they get the 2-point convert. Hurt. $18. That's what I said, Don. You never know what's going to end up happening. That's why you never count your chickens until that clock reaches 0 in the fourth quarter. They're only down by 4. So chances are Calgary will take the ball with 32 seconds left. They'll have to return it, and then they'll take the ball to start the third quarter. Scotty White, I mean, both teams. Chad Kelly has the most rushing yards for Toronto. Sam Hicks is two carries for -2 yards. I mean, Dedrick Mills has 6 carries for 20. Neither team has rushing game this game. Vernon Adams already has 12 for 15, 191 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Like, it's a passing game, this game. Larum kicks off for 63 yards to Calgary 17. McAllister returns it for 20 yards to the Calgary 37. So I would say you probably need to get to. See, I don't know what Calgary's kicker's like. So I'm assuming you would have to get to Toronto's 47. I'd say Toronto's 40-yard line, because you go back 7 yards. So they would have to get to the Toronto yard line. Oh, I take that back. Tevin Jones scores a 73-yard catch touchdown from Vernon Adams. 1 pass, 1 completion, just like that. Calgary retakes the lead before half, and they can still take the ball to start the third quarter. Wow. 17 seconds off the clock to get that touchdown. $11-point lead. Philpott, great first half. Philpott has 6 for 6 for 52 yards and a touchdown, or 2 touchdowns. Jones to the house. Jones has 2 for 3 for 103 yards and 1 touchdown. Vernon Adams, 13 for 16, 264 yards and 4 touchdowns. Damn. So there's already 5 touchdowns already in the first half between these two teams. My Lord. Eight seconds left. So what Chad Kelly can do with 8 seconds. McNatt at me kicks off for 66 yards to Toronto 14. Isaiah Smith returns for 19 yards. So I wonder why they're going with Isaiah Smith instead of Janarian Grant. Hicks rushes for 4 yards to the Toronto 37-yard line. Wilson with the tackle. So they're basically... Oh, well. That's basically the play there. 3 seconds. 2. Two weeks in a row. Nice. Nelson Hakowicz is already making the CFL jerseys for the new college game that came out today. So we are going to... I mean, that's the thing, A-Dog, is that's been the mantra for the whole league. No defense has been great. I mean, except for Edmonton, but I mean, other than that, no defense. Like, what is it? I think it's been what? Whatchamacallit? It's been like 50 to 60 points per game every week. That on average anyways. So it's just so Scott, he has to sit out 6 games now. So I can tell you. So let me go to the schedule. We are in week 4. No, week 5. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So earliest he can get back into the lineup is week 11, August 13th against BC Lions because of his suspension. And then he gets to play in what? 1. Then they have to buy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bye week. And then so he gets to play in 9 games and then playoffs if there's playoffs for Calgary. Yeah, so he has to serve his 6 games suspension. It's almost like I'll use Chad Kelly for example. So Chad Kelly had. I'm not going to go. I don't want to go into details of what he did, but he was suspended. He got allowed back in the league. He had to serve his 9-game suspension. And then once he served his 9-game suspension, he was allowed to play. The exact same thing. Except for Joe. Joe's suspension was only 6 games instead of 9. So let's go over the first half stats. Toronto has 203 yards on 21 passes for an average of 9.7. Calgary has 264 on 16 passes for 16.5 yards. Toronto has 7 rushes for 30 yards for an average of 4.3. Calgary has 28 rushes for 9 yards for an average of 3.1. Toronto has 2 losses for 5 yards, whereas Calgary has 1 loss for 10 yards. Net offense for Toronto is 228 yards on 30 passes for an average of 7.6. And Calgary has a net offense of 282 yards, 26 passes, or 26 plays for 10.8. Toronto has 8 rushes and 3 passes for first downs, whereas Calgary has 9 rushes, 1 pass, and 2 penalties for first downs. Each team has a sack. Toronto has 1 sack for 10 yards. Calgary has 1 sack for 4 yards. Toronto's 5 for 10 on second downs for 50%. Calgary is 7 for 10 for 70% on the second downs. The Toronto has one giveaway interception. Neither team has fumbles. Toronto has 7 penalties for 50 yards, whereas Calgary has 6 penalties for 27. Each team is perfect in the red zone. Toronto's 2 for 2 for 100%. Calgary is 3 for 3 for 100%. Toronto is 1 tackle for loss, or Calgary is 1 tackle for loss. Calgary has 1 interception for 13 yards. Toronto is 1 for 1, and longest is 52 for field goals. Toronto has 3 punts for 178 yards, an average of 59.3 on punting. Calgary has 2 punts for 106 yards, average of 53 yards. 1 punt return for 1 yard, whereas Calgary has 2 punts for 60 yards, average of 30. 4 kickoff returns for Toronto for 58 yards, average of 54.5. Whereas Calgary has 2 kickoff returns for 42 yards, average of 21. Toronto's time of possession is 14 minutes and 27 seconds, whereas Calgary's is 15 minutes and 33 seconds. That is your first half numbers. Chad Kelly has 14 of 21 for 203 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. On the ground, he has 2 carries for 24 yards and also a rushing touchdown. Leads with rushing yards. Mackay Polk is 5 for 8, 68 yards, 1 touchdown. DeMonte Coxey is 3 for 4 and 65 yards. David Unger is 4 for 5, 35 yards. For some reason, this cable isn't working properly. Let's plug that one in, see if that one works better. fix this up. iPad was dying, so I had to charge it. David Unger is 4 for 5 for 35 yards. Kevin Mattal 1 for 1 for 25 yards. It seems like Chad Kelly's not getting the passes like he was the previous couple weeks, so hopefully things can change in the first or second half. Samuel Hicks is 1 for 2 for 10 yards, and Tyler Common, who has been shut down this game so far, but has only gotten one pass, he's 0 for 1 and 0 yards. Darius Pickett leads the defense with 4 defensive tackles. Andrew Chatfield has 1 sack and no interceptions. Larham is 1 for 1 on field goals. Longest is 52, 1 extra point. Janarian Grant only has 1 punt return for 1 yard. Haggerty has 3 punts for 59.3 on average. Longest is 62. Larham has 2 kickoffs for 138 for the Calgary side. Vernon Adams is 13 of 16, 264 yards, 4 touchdowns on the day. Dedrick Mills has 6 carries for 20 yards. Quincy Vaughn has 3 carries for 8. Tevin Jones is 2 for 3 for 103 yards, 1 touchdown. Deshaun Brissett is showing up this week, 2 for 2 for 59 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Philpott's trying to show up his brother for 6 for 6 for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. Eric Brooks is 2 for 3 for 32 yards, and Clark Barnes is 1 for 2 for 18. Moncrief, Lee, and Robinson lead the defense with 3 defensive tackles. Sean Patterson Jr. with 1 sack. Shai Alexander with 1 interception. No field goals needed for Calgary, 4 extra points. And Mark Vassett is 2 punts for an average of 53. As we sit and wait for the second half to begin. What is going to happen this second half is going to be interesting. So they basically threw a 73-yard pass. Benji Franklin missed his tackle, and that's how they got it. Don says the Argos D is playing like dog doo-doo. Yeah, they are playing like dog doo-doo, but what can you do? There's still another half. You know, you got to remember, Toronto's offense didn't play that well, and it was a close game against Ottawa, and then in the second half, Toronto's offense just came alive. You'll never know what's going to happen. So they're actually down by 11 because they got the Rouge in the first half. So maybe the second half they can make this game. So it all depends. I don't know why this. I'm gonna have to use my phone for the second half. I'll just plug this back in. These cables aren't doing the greatest. So I will have to. Oh, so we're going to put that over there. And I will have to switch to my phone. Luckily, we're at 99%. So I'll turn on Bluetooth. Come on, headphones. Connect. Tai Chi. Leon Chongku. Okay, VPN. Scott says it ain't over till it's over. That's right. The fat lady ain't singing yet. CFL.ca. So those that don't know, Winton McManus is making his Ticat debut on Sunday against Winnipeg, and PD Jamal Peters will be back in the lineup as well. So we're gonna put this like this. Wow, these. President of Calgary is interviewing because of the Stampede. So Calgary beat Winnipeg last year for the first ever Stampede Bowl. Scott Waite says, same thing with these sports pundits talking about what NHL teams are going to be like next year. It's second of that. Funny fact that you mentioned that, Scott, because Connor Bedard injured his shoulder today. Again, I don't know how bad it is, but apparently someone was mentioning on social media that it's as bad as his shoulder injury was in December. So teams are having rookie camps this year. Don't forget, training camp will be short this year because there's only 5 preseason games. So preseason's only 2 weeks. Training camp, I don't know if they're going to do beginning of September. Each team plays an extra 2 games this year for the NHL. So who knows what the future is going to hold. You had the word got out that Lowry wanted to retire as a Raptor today. He got pissed off because someone had leaked it. Listen, if you're going to be a pundit, like, don't leak information. I mean, you could say, oh, something's happening, but without mentioning someone's name or your source. But, I mean, like, come on. Ooh, interesting question. Milt Stiegel just asked, you had a buzz from 96 to 2000. How do you get that buzz back? I mean, same success. Like, you've had Vernon Adams throw the touchdown like 4 times today. Like, what more success do you need? Yeah, but I'm sure Wally Brano wasn't the only reason why, like, that stadium was buzzing back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, you got to remember, economies changed over the last 20 years, 26 years. Um, Generations, like the younger kids, don't know CFL like the mid-age and elders do. Like, some people, try to pass it off to throughout their family. So yeah, they had Flutie. I mean, yeah, VAs. So I mean, at least, VAs. I don't know how much of a career difference he had from Darren or Doug Flutie. I mean, Doug Flutie was one of the best quarterbacks. But I mean, ticket prices, I don't know what ticket prices are like in Calgary. The stadium's old. You need a new stadium. Fan growth, fan engagement, and season ticket holders. What have you invested in? I would like to ask Calgary fans what the team has done for fan engagement and their season ticket holders, because I've not heard a single peep. You know what? Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. this is not. Let's try. Maybe a little charge faster that way. Oh, you know what? I'm curious. When does I think it's coming up in it's August 25th. I think it's the first time Sask and Hamilton play. Oh, July 12th in Sask. That should be interesting. That shall be interesting. Dawn says, "Oh, please, Argos, get y'all shit together." Yes, that's the thing, Dawn, is one touchdown and you guys are back in this game. Because really, one touchdown. Are the Bombers one of the worst teams? I don't know how. I mean, they've given up the third least on defense through 3 weeks, but their offense has also given up the lowest amount of points through 3 weeks. So I would say it's more their offense struggling than it is their defense. Yeah, they're 0-2 at home and 1-0 on the road. But coming out of a bye, Hamilton is 11-3. Plus, you have Wynton McManus coming back this week. You have Jamal Peters coming back. I don't think. Let me look. Outside of maybe Bagna, with a minor. See, Winnipeg never practiced today, so tomorrow's going to be interesting to see who plays and who doesn't. And then Bagna was full practice. Jonathan Dennis, our first-round pick, injured his knee in training camp. Mitch McCarthy probably has some personal thing going on. Wynton McManus and Jamal Peters and Bagna are going to be playing. Charbel Debris, I mean, he's, I think, I think he's, where are we here? Close that. No, I want from 2 weeks ago. Trying to remember. So he's a defensive tackle. So I'm sure if he can't go, I'm sure they'll put someone else in there. Calgary's going to take the ball in the third quarter. Larm kicks it off for 69 yards to the Calgary 11. McAllister returns it for 24 yards to the Calgary 35. First one's to Philpott. Second one's to Brissett, Philpott, and then Jones. All Benji Franklin had to do was just tackle him out of bounds. Don says we need stops bad. Philpott rushes for 3 yards to the Calgary 38. Darkangelo with the tackle, so it's going to be 2nd and 7. In CFL, the shorter field. Adams passes to Mills for 7 yards to Calgary 47. Wilson with the tackle. It's going to be a first down, Stampeders. Mills rushes for 9 yards to Calgary 54. Benji Franklin with the tackle. John says Adams is playing better than I thought he would. I mean, Adams wasn't playing that bad the first 3 games. It was just he started off slow. Now he's finally getting his groove together, and yeah, maybe that's just what he needed. Second and 1 on the Calgary 54. Mills rushes for 0 yards to the Calgary 54, so it's third and 1 on the Calgary 54. So second and 3. So it's either third and 1 or third and 2. So Calgary's going to be coming on punting the ball with 11-point lead. The set punts for 51 yards to the Toronto 5. Janarian Grant returns for 10 yards to the Toronto 15. Onyaka with the tackle. As we go for a TV timeout, and it's 11:53 left in the third quarter. Don says they've already up to punt the ball. Like I said, anything can happen. Toronto's return game just hasn't been there tonight. Argo fan 21 says Calgary would be a nice place to visit. Listen, you already have your tickets to the Grey Cup. You're already going to be visiting a week before the Grey Cup. You already know what it's going to be like. You know what would be nice, though? If you could plan it, is like when we went to the Winnipeg Bombers Sask and Wild game that weekend, try to depending on when the schedule comes out. I don't know if the NHL schedule is out. See if you can try to catch a Flames game that week. But people have a bunch of CFL events to go to, so I get it. But that would be pretty cool, though. Don says, come on, baby. How is it already 100% already? That doesn't make sense. Go from 0 to 100 just like that? Yeah, thought so. 5%. Hicks rushes for 4 yards to the Toronto 19. Lee with the tackle. Second and 6. I was so close to going to Edmonton and Calgary the same week, but couldn't pull it off. Both football, though. Yeah. Okay, now, A-Dog, now I know what you're talking about, these coordinator rooms at McMahon. Mock-Mahan Stadium, as they call it. Mock-Mahan. Kelly passes to Hicks for 0 yards. Toronto 9 to the Toronto 19, so it's going to be 3rd and 6. So Haggerty's going to be coming on and punting the ball away. Did it fit? Okay, good. That's fixed it. Haggerty punts for 66 yards to the Calgary 25. McAllister returns it for 7 yards to Calgary 32. Dark Angelo with the tackle. Big game tomorrow, round of 16, Canada versus Morocco. 1 p.m. on TSN. Argo fan 21 says, come on, defense. Come on, defense. Okay, well, it's Saturday. Cam off by day. There's still lots of sports to play this weekend, including Saskatchewan at Ottawa, which Saskatchewan should win tomorrow. Vernon Adams. Oh, what a catch. That could almost have been an interception, but the Calgary player caught it after being tipped by the Toronto player. That was almost an interception by Benji Franklin. So Adams passes to Jones for 33 yards to the Toronto 45. McFadden with the tackle. Holy crap. Jones with a fat catch at the 46. What's that? 2 plays later, they went from the 32 and they already have a touchdown. Just like that. One was a 33-yard pass to Jones and then a 45-yard pass to Barnes. John says, wow. Yeah, I don't have a good feeling about this. They're going to let this game get away. A-Dog's like, woo, wow, a bomb. Wow, Calgary looks like a powerhouse offense all of a sudden. VA, great route running. So, I would say, if I had to guess, I don't know who was guarding Barnes on that touchdown, but the Jones 33-yard pass that just happened and the touchdown. Okay, that was Amos on that one. But the touchdown before halftime and that 33-yard pass were both Benji Franklin getting burned. And we are going to play. John, listen. Argo fan 21 knows what it's like. You never take your foot off the gas until the game's over. It's not over until the end of the fourth quarter. First. Um, um, okay, so McGatney kicks off for 70 yards to the Toronto 10. Isaiah Smith returns it for 21 yards to the Toronto 31. Kelly rushes for 11 yards to the Toronto 41. Lee with the tackle. What? Already a first down already. I just had to watch an ad. You better be making that cha-ching. I know, but this hurts. Kelly's just doing it all. Stat padding this game again. Well, you know what? Kelly passes to under the third for 6 yards to the 48. So it's going to be second for A-Dog. You probably won't see Hicks anymore. So it's just going to be Kelly throwing, getting all the yardage now because they're down by 18 points. But I've seen teams come back from stranger points, so anything's possible. Toronto fans are just counting down the days until they're back home on August 6th. Third quarter. I forgot to change it. Oh, here goes Chad Kelly again. Oh, flag and a pass to Coxie. So at least it's a first down pending penalty. Roughing the passer. So it's a 33-yard pass to Coxie, and there's roughing the passer. So 3 plays and a penalty later, and they're already at the Calgary 14 because of the 15-yard penalty. So you can technically say 4 plays. Argo fan 21 says, what a play. Again. A-Dog says, again, Kelly doing everything he can. Imagine what this game would look like if his defense didn't have 100 offside penalties in the first half. You know what, to be honest for you? I think maybe 2 offside penalties in the first half, if that. Unger rushes for 6 yards to Calgary 8. Kyle Wilson with the tackle, and he's the injured Stamp on the play. So 2nd and 4 from the Calgary's 8. The question is, what's Kelly going to do here? They're going to step away for the injury. Is Toronto going to get the touchdown here on 2nd and 8 from the 8? Actually, no, it would be 2nd and 4 from the 8. Or are they going to throw an incomplete and get a field goal. I mean, at this point, you might as if it did come down to third and 4, you might as well just go for it. I mean, what else could go wrong? Look at that. We have 135 people viewing today's live stream. So just a few things coming up for the channel. So once the AHL begins, we're going to be having a 30-minute post-game show for the Hammers on YouTube and on the KHPR radio station. We are also going to we're going to have some content from the Hockey Hall of Fame because I've been given a pass to attend the Hockey Hall of Fame, so we're going to have that. Still got to find me a cameraman for that day, but I'm sure I'll find one. If I can get a second pass, I'm sure the radio station will give me 2 passes. And then, yeah, I'll have media. They're working on getting me a media pass for the Hamilton Hammer home games and the games on the road. So I'll have to go to a few Belleville games, go to a Laval game, go to all the games in Toronto. Kelly has 242 passing yards. Vernon Adams has 300. Was it 49 or 69? 349. Oh. Common with the catch for 3 yards, so it's 3rd and 1 from the 5. Here we go. 3rd and 1. You're gonna either run it for a touchdown or you're gonna run it for the first down. Kelly gets the first down, rushes 2 yards for the first down to Calgary 3. Lead with the tackle. Chad Kelly passes to Polk for a 3-yard touchdown. Touchdown Argos. Currently down by 2 points or 12 points before they decide what they want to do with this touchdown. If they're going to go for a 2-point convert or if they're going to go for the extra point. Looks like they're going for a 2-point convert. So no 2-point is incomplete, so it's going to be still a 12-point lead. This is huge here. Poor executed. Oh my God, why? Just Evan take the points. So, A-Dog, you got to remember, so they already got the 2-point convert earlier. They probably figured, okay, you know what? We got the 2-point convert earlier. Let's try it again. So they figured, you know what? Let's go to the wall again for the 2-point convert. And they didn't get it this time. What do you mean why they need the points? No. So what I think A-Dog means is why go for the 2-point convert when you can just kick the extra point and take the extra point instead of attempting the 2-point convert and missing it and not getting it. That's what he's trying to say. Let me try this one. Second touchdown of the night from Mackay Polk. So Kelly is at 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Vernon Adams is at 5 touchdowns. Man, this is going to be the year that like there's going to be so many touchdowns. It's going to be ridiculous. Right. So they've missed 4 points already. So where did they miss the 4 points? They already got a 2-point convert. So they're really only missing 2 points, not 4. Because you need the points on 2-pointers. A-Dog says, okay, first off, they barely got that 2 points convert earlier because Calgary had 3 penalties. Okay, true fact. Got to risk it for the biscuit. That's true. How much time do they have left in this quarter? So there is 4:57 left in this quarter. A-Dog says that was just pathetic. So Adams needs 1 touchdown to tie Dickinson, Garcia, Flutie, and Isaac for the most touchdowns in one game in Saskatchewan Stampeders history. Larham kicks 72 yards to the Calgary 8. McAllister returns it for 27 yards to the Calgary 35. They need 14 points in the fourth. Well, I mean, Chad Kelly can only do so much himself. You need your defense to step up the game. We've already had Bo throw for 5 touchdowns. I'm sure Chad Kelly's been up there once. Vernon Adams knows. Throwing for 5 touchdowns. Adams Jr. passes to Mills for 11 yards to the Calgary 46. Pickett with the tackle. Cameron Judge, the injured Argo on the play. Ooh, it looks like he injured his knee when he fell. Injured a bit of his knee when he collided with Dedrick Mills on that tackle. I'm curious. Argo fan 21 says looked like a head injury. A-Dog said not Cam Judge. It looked like he grabbed his knee, but I mean, I could be wrong. So if it is his head injury, I'm sure they'll have to check for concussion before. So Cameron Judge is off for 3 plays minimum because the medical team came out. If it's a head injury, he's going to have to go get checked for a concussion. A-Dog says he's one of his favorite players in the league. Probably going to go to the Tunt. So Saluka is coming in for Cameron Judge. Mills rushes for 3 yards to the Calgary 49. Dark Angelo with the tackle. 2nd and 7. Man, Dark Angelo's... Every time I see tackles, it's always Dark Angelo. How's he only had 3 tackles? I'm sure he's had more than 3. Pickett with 7? Dang. 3:42 left in the third quarter. Vernon Adams passes to Jalen Philpott for 31 yards to the Toronto 30 for first down. Tackled by Benji Franklin. Wide open, no one around. Argo fan 21 says this defense is hard to watch. I mean, if you think about it, Don, it was almost like the same. I know it's only one game, but it kind of reminds me of the defense from last year. Can't get one stop. I remember last year going to the Toronto games that I did last year. They had to Mills with a 9-yard rush to the Toronto 21, Amos with the tackle. They almost had to outscore their defense just to win games, and that kind of reminds me of last year when their offense had to outscore their defense just to win games, and their defense was giving up 30 points a game. So either Toronto's giving up 30 plus points a game, or they're beating someone by 40 points a game. That seems to be what's happening this year. Quincy Vaughn rushes for 1 yard to the Toronto 20-yard line. Wilson with the tackle, first down. Tush push is good on first down. I don't think you can do the tush push in this league. I think they've banned it. Turnover, please. But I don't see it. Vernon Adams pass incomplete to Tevin Jones to the Toronto end zone. Incomplete, so it's 2nd and 10 from the Toronto 20. That's Adam Jr.'s 4th incompletion in this ballgame. On his back foot. And there's a flag on the play, so it could be defensive pass interference. One more stop, then to the 3. Hold. Wow. So the pass was to Brissett, but Wilson had the defensive pass interference, so they take it up 19 yards to the Toronto 1-yard line. Vaughn with the touch. Is it going to be Quincy Vaughn with the touchdown? You know what I'd say? Screw it. Give it to Adam Harrett. The McMahon Rabbits on the field. The Rabbit wants to race Miltsteagle. The Rabbit wants to watch VA. Don't hit the Rabbit. Quincy Vaughn gets the touchdown. Oh, I don't want to delete it. So it's 42-24. Freaking Rabbit been playing from behind this whole game. Yeah, it's over. Argo fan 21 says someone grabbed the rifle. Wow. Calgary is holding on to this lead. So, if they get this 2-point convert, so now it's up to 20. Because without it, it's 18. Now at least it's 3 touchdowns instead of 2 with 2 field goals. Or sorry. No, it would have been 18. So it would have been 2 touchdowns, a field goal, and a single. Now it's almost 3 touchdowns. Go for the 2-point convert to lead by 20. Sounds about right. Maybe they're trying to show Toronto. Listen, this is how you get 2-point converts done. Like, I don't know. F Calgary. Did you say that? Listen, I saw you say that. I don't know if you said that, but I saw that. Argo fan 21, you know how you forget this? Make it to the Grey Cup and win it on their soil. That's how you forget this. But you didn't hear that from me because I don't want Toronto to win the Grey Cup. You know what, though? There's one person who I feel bad for because he made the trip all the way out to Calgary. He's been partying all day long, but he goes there to watch this. Oh, we had 7%. 15 minutes to go. So, Toronto, after 3 quarters, has 15 first downs, 248 passing yards, 53 rushing yards, 296 net yards, 6 for 13 on 2-point or second down converts, 19 minutes and 59 seconds of time of possession. Calgary has 20 first downs, 394 passing yards, 54 rushing yards, 438 net yards, 10 for 14 on second down conversions, and 25 minutes and 1 second for the time of possession. Argo fan 21 says, that's what I mean. If Toronto wins in Calgary, I'm gonna laugh my ass off at every Calgary fan he sees. Oh, here we go. Oh, another flag. So there's 2 flags on this play. Kelly passes to Hicks. I want to say maybe 30 yards. Let's see what these penalties are. So pass to Paul. Okay, it was not Paul. It was Hicks for 31 yards. Wow. So Calgary gets roughing the passer Hicks. Face mask on Johnson. They're going up 30 yards from the Calgary 46 to the Calgary 16. So here you go, Argo fans. Here's an upcoming touchdown off of one play. So 61 yards off of this one play. This will. Okay, there you go. They've already gotten the touchdown already. It just hasn't updated. So you're really down by 14. 13 if you include the extra point. Kelly passes for 16 yards for the touchdown to David Unger for the touchdown. Now we got to play this. So we have 74 points in this game. I hate to say it, 74 points. Can we hit 100? That's only 30 points in 14 minutes. It's possible. Can't say getting 100 points. Well, and he goes for 2 points and he fails the 2-point convert again. They could be up 30. They could be up by 12 points had they have just made the 2 1-point converts. Touchdown to Screams Nuts. What quarter are they in? Dawn, they just started. They're 53 seconds into the 4th quarter. And they miss again. Just take the points. Take the damn points now. You can't get back at it in one play. Bad coaching. Okay, 1 touchdown. We're back in this. That's right. You're only down by 2 touchdowns. You just need 1 touchdown and you're back in this. $26 points and you can get to 100. Well, yeah, 26 points and you can get to 100. Both teams are playing bad this game. Larum kicks off. Out of bounds, and it's going to be a penalty on Larum. Legal kick out of bounds. A turnover or turnover on downs would be nice. Most 300-yard gains versus one team. And Vernon Adams has 6 against Toronto. So Larham kicks off for 62 yards to the Calgary 18. But it's illegal kick out of bounds 10 yards. So they go from the Calgary 18 to the Calgary 50. So they're already at midfield already because of that penalty. And there's another flag. Vernon Adams passes to Philpott to Toronto 43, and it's roughing the passer Andrew Chatfield for 15 yards to Toronto 45. So, 2 penalties, and you go from Calgary 18 to the Toronto 45-yard line. Mills rushes for 13 yards to the Toronto 32. Pickett with the tackle. Holy God, it's like Toronto wants to lose this game. Oh my gosh. Holy roughing the passer, dude. God, D wants to lose this game. Mills rushes for 8 yards to Toronto 24. Wilson with the tackle. I don't know what it is. I take Sask versus Toronto last week. Sask loses to Toronto. I'm like, okay, Toronto's put up 44 points in a couple of games. I'll take Toronto this week. And Toronto loses. Well, they're losing. They haven't lost yet, but they're losing this week. So I can't make heads or tails with Toronto. Dedrick Mills rushes for 3 yards to Toronto 21. Goss with the tackle. Paula Please brings up a good point. Wait until the clock runs down and then snap the ball because then it gives Toronto less time. Mills rushes for 1 yard loss to the Toronto 22 because you're already in field goal range anyways. Holding them to 3 points is easier said than done. Wow, Vernon Adams just rushes for 22 yards to the end zone for a touchdown. Not only does he have 5 passing touchdowns, but he has 1 rushing touchdown too. Calgary is lighting Toronto on fire. $51. What a stud. 22-yard for Taddy. What an ucking joke. They didn't want this game at all. My first mind was take the Stamps. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Maybe it's just me jinxing it because I took Toronto this week, but I took Sats last week and Toronto beat them. So, and then I take Toronto this week, and then they play like this. Who does Toronto play next week? Let's take a look at this because I need to get my head into the game. Toronto plays Winnipeg. In Winnipeg. So, my gut instinct says Toronto's going to bounce back. They're going to be pissed off about tonight. And they're going to beat Winnipeg in Winnipeg next week. That's just my honest opinion of what I think is going to happen next week. It may not necessarily happen, but that's just my honest opinion. Vernon Adams so far will be the player of the week, hands down. This is frustrating, but at the end of the day, you need losses to learn. Listen, Argo Fan 21, I think you told me this earlier in the offseason or even last year. It's best to get these at the beginning of the season out of the way than end of the season, and it be a big game in the end of the season. Like, could you imagine if this was a playoff game? Like, it's just Calgary kicks it off for 77 yards to the Toronto 3. Grant returns it for 22 yards to the Toronto 25. Well, I want to see 95. Well, at least their offense will be in first for now. Lots to happen this week. Kelly throws incomplete to Coxie, 2nd and 10 from the Toronto 25. So don't forget, Calgary's doing this off of 1 day practice this week because they had a short week. Toronto had 2 days of practice, and then you figure traveling too. So both teams weren't well prepared for this game, if you ask me anyways. Kelly throws an interception And they get down to the 11-yard line. Second interception from Kelly. So that's what, 7? So Zaya Alexander with his second interception of the night and returns it for 29 yards to Toronto 11. So he had 6 coming into the game, so he has 7 and 8. 8 interceptions. I think he had 9 touchdowns, so 11 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Vernon Adams, there's your 6. So he's tied the record with 6 touchdowns, 6 passing touchdowns. So now he's tied the record for Stamps history. Can he break history tonight is the question. Brissett goes to prove. Listen, guys, I'm still alive in Calgary. Brissett has 2 touchdowns tonight. His 7th 400-yard career game. Wow, most touchdowns in his career in one game since the Oregon Ducks days. So this will be 2-0 in the Stampede Bowl for Calgary. Shovel pass, passes it off, touchdown. What? Don says thank you for this coverage while you do games this weekend. So I will do the Ottawa Sask game tomorrow. Saturday I will have the BC game. Sunday I'll be at the Ticat game, but I'll probably do like a tape delay watch along on Monday night. So I'll have all games this weekend. Don't you worry. He hasn't even thrown an interception yet. Calgary kicks off for 75 yards to the Toronto 5. Grant returns for 24 yards to the Toronto 29. 8:15 left in the game. The question is, if Toronto gives the ball back to Calgary, so the over-under for this game was, hold on. The over-under in the CFL this season is wild. The game tonight was set at 60 and a half, and it's 88 in the fourth quarter. Oh, 2 misconduct fouls. So 68 on Calgary, 58 on Toronto. They're going to go back 5 yards, and it's going to be first down repeated. Sorry, it's on Toronto. We'll go back 5 yards. Some misconduct on Peterson Jr. Blands with the unnecessary roughness. So they go back 5 yards. Ooh, Chad Kelly almost threw another interception, and he gets sacked. Or is it an incomplete? So another penalty. And it could be intentional grounding because there's no receiver in the area. Intentional grounding. 10 yards, so it's 2nd and 25. Oh, 3rd and 25. So that makes no sense. How is that 3rd? Because it says no play because of the penalty. No play. And then it's 1st and 10. No play again, and now it's 2nd 25, and then TSN saying it's 3rd 25. Where is the play if there's... Oh, my God. CFL, you're driving me nuts tonight. You are bloody driving me nuts. Like, where's the second play? Because 2nd and 25, they punt. That would be 3rd and 25. So, are they counting the Chad Kelly intentional grounding as the second play? Because this one says no play. This one says no play. And then all of a sudden, you're 2nd and 25 and you're punting. So this should be a penalty. So it's 1st and 15. This is no play. And then this should be 2nd and 25. I don't get this whatsoever. I honestly don't. So my whole point that I was trying to say was, before all of this happened was, so there's 7:28. If you get close enough, you would probably, because you got to remember, Toronto doesn't have any timeouts, so just run the ball, pass, run, and I'm sure you could run down the last 7 minutes. So Haggerty punts for 79 yards to the Calgary 17. McAllister returns for 1 yard to the Calgary 18. Mills rushes for 2 yards to the Calgary 20. Darkangelo with the tackle. Quick Six has got to be getting her energy today, running back and down the field. Adams passes incomplete to Philpott, broken up by Pickett. Bassett punts 48 yards to the Toronto 42. Grant returns it for 0 yards out of bounds. Nick Arbuckle into the game for the last 6 minutes. Let's see what Arbuckle does now. There's a flag on the play. Toronto 61, offside procedure. Brendan Kemp. 72.4%, 4,370 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions with a 5-10 record last year. Misconduct penalty on 96. Objective conduct. Up 15 yards. So first and 5 at the Calgary 47-yard line. Hicks rushes. I don't get how it's... Okay, yeah, 5 yards, okay. Okay, so this is saying no play. So that would be... Okay, now that makes sense now. So why is Kelly out? I mean, at this point, A-Dog, you're down by 28. Are you really going to risk Kelly getting injured for 5 minutes left of the game and you're not going to win this game? Arbuckle throws to Unger for 9 yards to the Calgary 44. Robinson with the tackle. That's just my honest opinion. Calgary, 2nd and inches at the Calgary 44. Vernon Adams almost has a 100-point week if you use him as captain. Unger for 7 yards in the Calgary 37. You know what? Now that you mention that, I have him in my yearly fantasy league. What? Oh no, not this one. What does he have me this year so far? Adams has 48 points in the weekly fantasy by himself. Jake says, holy S. Is Argos defense that bad? Just looked up the score and it's already 58 points. So offside on Montal for 5 yards to the Calgary 37 to the Calgary 42. So Jake, Franklin got burnt on 2 plays. Vernon Adams threw a 73-yard touchdown. Kelly's thrown 2 interceptions. Adams has 6 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. It's been a crazy. Arbuckle pass incomplete to Common. You know what? Maybe Toronto's just shit in the bed this week because I took Hicks in my weekly fantasy and Common in my weekly fantasy, thinking that he would get another touchdown this week, and he hasn't gotten nothing. So maybe it's all my fault, Argo fans. Thanks for the reminder. I had a killer season so far in weekly, and now I'm going to get blown up. So I was just talking about season. I haven't even talked about weekly. So if you have Vernon Adams as your captain, you know what? Let's take a look at this because I'm actually quite curious. So he has 48 points in that. Hicks has 8.7, so I'll take it. Common only has 1.8. I'm not too happy about that. But Calgary, Vernon Adams has 48.2 without captaincy. So he's close to 100 points just with captain. Like, that's ridiculous. Jake says, damn, Kelly with 2 more interceptions. He's averaging 2 a game. That's really bad. Australia versus Egypt, Argentina versus Cabo, and Colombia versus Ghana. I'll be at Ticats practice at 11 in the morning. Gonna go sweat it out. It's gonna be like 49, and it's gonna be practice. Argo fan says no comment. Come on, Arbuckle, at least show something. Oh, he passes 15 yards to Unger the second. Unger second is always good for fantasy points. 9 for 11 and 88 yards and a touchdown. If you ever need a cheap receiver for weekly fantasy, always go with David Unger. I think he's like, what, 7.5 or 7.7? 7.7? Listen, it's all about adversity. Once you face it, it depends on what you do with it next. Hicks rushes for 3 yards to the Calgary 24. 2:32 left. Can Arbuckle get a touchdown before the end of the quarter? Oh, I'm curious. What does Adams was 9th in quarterbacks and rushing yards, and he already has 11 touchdowns on this season. That's ridiculous. Arbuckle passes to Hicks for 6 yards to the Calgary 18. So he's tied with Chad Kelly for touchdowns. Neither Adams or Alexander has thrown an interception so far this year. Arbuckle rushes for 1 yard to the Calgary 17 for a first down. Well, I don't need this. This can go to this. Charge that. 19%. Arbuckle throws incomplete to Common. So Adams is at 96.4 currently. Coxie with a touchdown. Save that. We got to go make it fair for both teams and throw this up. Missed the extra point. You can't get 2 points. We're at 94 points in this game. $94 points. This is getting ridiculous. 6 more points to hit 100, folks. Minute 31. I'm hoping that Saskatchewan puts up a nice 40-50 on Ottawa tomorrow. Only because I took Sask. Harris can get me some points tomorrow. Keyshawn Johnson can get me some points tomorrow. Sask's defense can get me some points tomorrow. Not trying to be an asshole, but man, watching this game film next week for Toronto is going to be rough. But you got to watch game film to get better. Wow, they kick an onside. They kick an onside kick. They crush the guy, and then they get a penalty. Then they wonder why. Like, they hit the guy midair. Tackles him around the neck. clotheslined him. So a blow to the head, they'll go back 15 yards and re-kick. $15 penalties for 134 yards. Listen, you ain't going for the football when you clothesline someone. They're taking the injury spotter is taking him out. They're going to try for the onside kick once again. Ooh, that was close for Toronto. That was close on Toronto. Toronto has had that. Toronto football. Minute 23 left, and Toronto has the ball again. Can we get one more touchdown before the end of the game to give it 100 points? Perfect. Hicks rushes for 9 yards to the Toronto 50. Another flag. Offside on Toronto. Offside on Toronto. Everyone but the center. What kind of penalty is that? Everyone but the center. Wow. A-Dog says LOL. Like, how do you... Ooh, what a... I wouldn't say a spin move. Arbuckle throws a coaxie for 12 yards to the Calgary 53. Tights with the tackle. I was going to say spin move. Arbuckle throws to Hicks for 12 yards to the Calgary 41. Got it. About a minute left. 53 seconds to be exact. Damn, VA isn't really going to get a chance to get 7 touchdowns because Arbuckle is taking a sweet effing time. I mean, really, do you think Calgary was going to go down and score another touchdown? Arbuckle throws incomplete to Metal. I mean, it would be nice if Toronto would get another touchdown, because then we can say the game was over 100 points. Yes, I do. So 2nd and 10, Calgary 41. So we need 6 points to hit 100. We're already at 94. Arbuckle, throw a long bomb, please. Get a touchdown. Get a touchdown. Get a touchdown. Get a touchdown. Close. Games weren't freaking close at all. Arbuckle throws to Coxie for 9 yards to Calgary 32. "31 seconds. Yeah, his numbers are going to be huge because of garbage time. 136 and a touchdown. Arbuckle rushes for 2 yards to the Calgary 30 for a first down. Someone just said we can't play our defense every week. Oh, that's what I want to see. What's Toronto's defense? Toronto's defense is -3. Really? Only -3? Arbuckle to Coxie for 12 yards to the Calgary 18. 5 seconds left. 900 yards. Arbuckle throws incomplete to Coxie. And that is going to be the game. As Calgary puts up 58 on Toronto. So it's going to be a final of 58-36. Calgary picks up the victory and is 2-0 in the Stampede Bowl. As they beat Winnipeg last year in the Stampede Bowl. They beat Toronto this year in the Stampede Bowl. But I do appreciate everyone for stopping by, checking out the content. Join us tomorrow. Thanks, A-Dog. Join us tomorrow as we will have the Saskatchewan and Ottawa game tomorrow. But I do appreciate your time. I got to go do a pre-game with Carter right now for tomorrow's game. But I do appreciate everyone for stopping by. This is Rick from Hamilton Sports Central, and have yourself a great rest of your day.